and welcome back to another episode of the 1 Point Safety Show with myself, Scott Hartley, and the show's host, Scouse Andy. How are you, mate? You all right?
I am good, man. I'm good. Some very interesting news today, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I thought I would put you as the show host because it's obviously your show, mate, and that's how it goes. But at the same time, I got out of a meeting, Scouse, 2:30. I went into this meeting and I thought, oh yeah, it's the quarterly functional meeting. It's going to be busy, but I might be here a while. 6:15, I got out of this meeting, opened my phone to 5 different WhatsApp threads and 160 messages. I was like, what has actually gone on? But we'll get into that. I'm sure. We'll go and rattle through the news very quickly. Some of it anyway, and then we'll come on to the rest of it. Shout out to Jesse, shout out to Scott G, shout out to Mike Allen and Brian. It's always in the chat as well, so appreciate you all being on here. Numbers again this week were amazing. Deluxe, thanks for being with us as always. Very high numbers, so we appreciate it. 3 new subscribers as well, so begging works, Scouse. Happy days.
It'll take us a while, won't it, to get to that 100 if you've got to keep begging every week.
Oh, mate, I know. Darren's in the chat. Appreciate you, Darren, for being here as well. So, we'll start off, mate, with the news, really. The first news is, did you see the punter on social media?
The punter? No?
Yeah, did you not see that? Oh, what a douche. Anyway, some punter who he got in for like a tryout was more interested in filming social media as he walked round and did this full social media thread on, is the Commanders going to be the one? Bog off, mate. We just wanted you in to kick a few balls right, with a different leg because Tress is a lefty. Of course, we weren't going to sign you. Anyway, that's by the by. That's that bit out of the way. Yeah, he was a bit of a douche on social media by putting his video out, but it is what it is.
Mike says the legal team are after him.
Oh, well, maybe they are. Maybe the second bit of news, mate, was an LA-based venture and management company have been drafted in by the Commanders to look at a feasibility study to look at building a stadium at the RFK site. We are paying them $565,000 even. So that has not gone off the radar. It was a bit of interesting news that I thought was there. I saw it and I thought, this is interesting what they're actually looking to do, going through surveys, going through is it feasible? What sort of size can we have? What's the footprint of where we're going to be? What did you think of that, mate? Is it something that interested you? Because obviously, it's a bit of news.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely interested me. I mean, it kind of pisses me off though that you have to go to LA to try and find some dudes that can actually do the study properly. Like what? No guys in DC could do it. No one who's more local. Well, Scott G's just land and all that. No, some of that.
Scott G's just said DC is paying them, not the team. That's interesting. I didn't read that part of it, so I actually thought we were footing that bill. So I stand corrected. If that to be fair,
we should be paying that bill, as in like the owners.
Yeah, I thought so.
Bill. We want to move there. We should be making that money investment, but obviously not. Fair enough. Obviously they've outsourced this, haven't they? If that's the case, and they found obviously the cheapest team to do it, the cheapest firm to actually do it. Hence why it's gone to LA, an LA-based team.
Yeah, exactly. And other bits of news, then we'll go through a few quick rosters updates, which is going to take a little bit of time, but they're all Jags, really, to be fair. So we signed a defensive end, Justin Hollins, who used to play for the Rams. Never heard of him. We released Bo Bauer, a linebacker, on a medical injury compensation. So wish him well for the future. He's been hanging around the practice squad and for a couple of years, so best of luck to him in his future endeavours. We signed safety Kendall Brooks and linebacker Chappelle Russell. And as the subsequent moves, we released linebacker Keandre Jones and safety Ben Nickel. They've gone. We also signed a safety called Sheldrick Redwine. Nice surname, but yeah, whatever.
Red wine.
BUB40 on the pod. Gotta love it, haven't you? Go on. And then...
some people's names are crazy, though, man. They really are.
I know. Silla Shitter. That's always my favourite one, yeah, honestly. And the other one was we've released kicker Riley Patterson. So,
yeah, well, that was not expected, was it? After today's trades, which we'll get on to.
Yeah, I'm sure, yeah. The other bit of news then that I thought was going to be the one that we were going to talk about a little bit more on the pod tonight was we have signed kicker Cade York, formerly of the Cleveland Browns, who was a 4th round draft pick for them, for a conditional 7th round pick. Now, again, not sure why we're giving picks up here for a kicker, even if it is conditional. Now, maybe it's conditional, and what we're doing is we're waiting to see who comes off cuts, and then we may cut this guy because we need someone to obviously kick at the weekend, because we now don't have anyone officially on the roster. But it's been reported that Cade York has signed for a conditional 7th rounder. Thoughts on Cade York, Scouse, as the kicking option?
Well, can he be much worse than Riley Patterson? I don't know. I mean, probably not. So I like to think he's a slight upgrade on Patterson. But again, the thing is, yeah, he was a 4th round pick. He came out with a lot of, fanfare, as others have made it. I've made it out when he first came out in the 4th round for the Browns. But he was inconsistent for them. Then he got, I think he was cut, wasn't he? He was cut after the first season. And then he went to 3 different teams on the practice squads and tryouts and never made the first teams. So that kind of worries me a little bit. And then obviously for some reason, somehow Cleveland had got him back. And then now we're giving up a conditional 7th for him if he makes the roster. Obviously it's free if he doesn't make the roster. But still, it's kind of... Oh, to be fair, I'm not bothered about the 7th rounder being taken for a kicker. I'd give that up all day if he gives me points. If he guarantees me points near enough. If he's like 90% success rate, then I'll take that. Do you know what I mean? But from what you can see from the guy so far, yeah, he was good in college, not so good in the NFL. So I'm hopefully some kickers do find the niche and they play better somewhere, other teams compared to other teams. So I'm just hoping that he turns out right, because if he doesn't, we're still in the shit. We've still got the same problems. So
Canada might put a question into us saying, is the kicker sorted now? Have we answered the kicker problem? I mean, do you think we have answered the kicker problem or not?
Well, not yet. No, I think you've got the jury's out. I mean, you have to let the guy play a few games, or at least the preseason game, and see what he can actually do. I'd still, if I'm thinking about it from a competition point of view, and what DQ always harps on about, every position's always up for grabs, etc., etc. Then Cade York will obviously be the starting kicker for this preseason game. Mm-hmm. And the cuts will happen, won't they, a couple of days later, I think, after those games.
Yeah,
then we'll see another kicker come in through the waivers. I think that's what we'll see. And then we'll have 2 guys really fighting it out for that starting game. But it's difficult, man. It's difficult because, say, if York is solid in that game, then you might be happy with him. But even one game, unless he has like 6 field goals in that game, is that enough sample size? I think he's the guy we need, nobody else. It's hard.
I've said it all along. I said it last week, I think, on the pod. I've said it in WhatsApp chat. The guy I'm looking at is Austin Siebert, or is I think how you pronounce his name, from the Jets. He's had 16 kicks in preseason and he's 100%. And 2 of his kicks have been from 56 and 58 yards. The guy's a beast. And he's an undrafted rookie. Now, the thing is, they are not going to keep him at the Jets. They have Greg Zuerlein as their kicker. Now, there's nothing wrong with Greg Zuerlein. He just signed a new contract in the summer. I think it's like a $5 million 2-year deal, and it's fully guaranteed. So they're not going to cut him against the dead cap that's on there. So it's a strange one, because looking at it, what do you do? I mean, he would be the one I would go through just purely because of his record and what you've seen in.
Yeah, he signed a 2-year, $8.4 million contract.
Oh, there you go. I apologise. I thought it was 5. Is it 5 guaranteed? That must be what I saw then. So yeah, I mean, they're not getting rid of Greg. Greg the Leg will stay at New York, and that is one that we could pick up. But we'll get into it a bit later, because waiver wire is important now. No matter what way we look at it.
We are number 2 in the picks for waivers,
that's nice. That's what I mean.
That's really nice. We just got to make sure we we picked the right guy coming from these things.
So we'll get Carolina sloppy seconds then. Basically, yeah.
I agree. I agree. I agree with the looks. You can't count on these cut down guys.
You're right.
You're
absolutely right.
Exactly. And I blame McManus because say if he wasn't, to be fair, I blame McManus obviously for being a dickhead when he was in the Jags team, but then also for lying to us. But then also I blame our back office there as well for not doing the due diligence and not know that these things were in the background. You know what I mean? These guys are there to find the skeletons in the closets of these guys. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Especially before you're going to pay him big money as well, which obviously for a kicker, I think it was 3.5, 4 mil, which is pretty reasonable money. It's good money. You don't want to make a £4 million mistake. You see what I mean? So there's got to be some guys there that can and maybe not a PI as such, but those type of guys going around trying to find all the hidden secrets of a certain player. Of every player that you come in, especially if you're spending money on them, not like freebies and the rest. I mean, I get that from rookies and things. Even then, they're still going to do it for them. So I don't understand how we missed this in a big way. It's poor, man.
It's right. Deluxe has said that you can't know what you're not told. We
got to find out. That's the thing. You got to find out. That's the whole point of these guys.
If they want to employ me as the new chief whip for them, I'm more than happy to do that job. You know what I mean? Send me out there. I'm good. I'm good with that. But we'll get into the big news then. And what we will do before we get onto the big news is I will mention that there's probably about 7 questions that have come through for fan questions for us.
Yeah, see the difference there, mate. Mike Allen.
Yeah, I know.
The guy from Aubrey, isn't it? The Aubrey.
Aubrey, yeah. And the other guy as well I've been very impressed with, the Saints kicker, the Irish GAA fella, Smith he's called. Can't remember his first name, but he came through the international pathway. He was hitting a 67-yarder. The guy's on absolute fire. It's one of them where I'm going to go through and I'm going to say these
obviously
7 picks.
Sorry to interrupt you there, mate. But the Friday podcast has mentioned here, Doug Peterson didn't know about McManus. But he's not going to throw him under the bus, is he? He's not going to say, oh, by the way, I'm going to ruin your career now. I'm going to say, I did see what happened. That's not going to happen, is it? So you're going to be like, oh, I didn't see anything, plead the fifth. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what they're doing. And that's what Doug Peterson did. So, it's, man. I mean, players saw it as well. Now, obviously, players don't throw other players under the bus. I get that, right? But you're telling me that a PI or even just a normal guy from our back office asked some of the players at Jags and say, how's McManus? Is he all right? Or what? Blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And then the players will probably say something, won't they? No, I can maybe not officially, but he would say something. You know what I mean? Wait, he was a bit dodgy on that bloody plane ride over to London. Yeah? And then you go, okay, and then that'll bring your antennas up a little bit. But yeah, man, I mean, I just think it's... as I say, you got to ask, find out, man. You know what I mean? I don't understand it, man. I don't understand how it was missed. I really don't.
So we'll get into the big one then. I've had about 7 questions on this, so I apologise. I will get round to them, but I hope that. I know you're bored, Scott. I get it, but I will hope to answer all your questions here. So I won't probably go through the individual questions that we've got on it, but. If you have put a question in, I apologise. We hope we answer it in this segment. And the big news that came out of my meeting to is Jahan Dotson obviously has left the team. He has been traded to the Philadelphia Eagles in exchange, with a 5th round pick in exchange for a 2025 3rd and 2 7th round picks. Also gives us an £8 million salary cap saving across the remaining 2 years of his contract. Now, we heard last week, we talked about B-Mitch coming out and saying that there was a certain wide receiver with a poor attitude and, he hasn't been training very well. And it was assumed it was Jahan Dotson. And we talked about it a little bit last week. I mean, breaking news. This is big news here, especially because it's an in-division trade. What do you think about Jahan Dotson and this trade? Have we been fleeced? Is it something that, it's totally unexpected. Do you know what I mean? So
have you noticed this, though? We've obviously mentioned about previous wide receivers, and I'm probably speaking about guys, who are going to be hopefully coming in to replace Dotson. Hopefully, that we get dicked. It's always like the other team's got the advantage; they've got the player, and you want our player. We got to pay through $top. We got to give them higher draft picks, etc., etc., etc. We've got a guy there, And what do? We just let him go for free. And I'm saying that virtually is free. Because basically they've given us pick 98 and then 2 7th rounders. Now the thing is, 7th rounders, they're nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like same with the Cade York thing. No, but no, they're a waste of time. As in like 7th rounders, you're not expecting anything from them. So they're just a complete waste of picks, really. Where you got your the 3rd rounder, again, that's not even their pick. That's Miami's pick. So Eagles have laughed us off, and it's in division as well, which is even worse. I mean, obviously from a English football point of view, that'd be like Gerrard going to Man United. Do you know what I mean? Like it'd be a massive thing. It'd be like, wait there a minute, and the fans would go fucking ape shit. Now, obviously, some of the fans are like, good riddance, and some of the fans would be like, oh, what the fuck, you know, but it shouldn't happen, these in-division trades, man. Like, they really shouldn't, unless we're getting a good deal out of it, unless someone's overpaying for our dudes. But they never are, if you notice that. They never are. We get undercut every time.
Yeah, I understand that, but what you've got to look at here is, have they just given up on Jahan and said, you're not cutting it? Look,
well, the answer is
yeah. But let's look at it in the cold light of day. He's a 1st round pick. He's never got over 700 yards. I think it was 678 was his highest in the season. He had a great rookie season. Last year he was bobbling balls all over the spot. Didn't do anything at all. And then you look in pre-season and he hasn't done it in pre-season either. Now, whether that's because he hasn't been targeted, I am not happy with the wide receiver room with Zacchaeus, De'Ami Brown, Terry McLaurin, and McCaffrey that's your 4 wide receivers. Let's look at it in the cold light of day here, Scouse. We've basically given him away for peanuts. What is that telling you from our point of view? Because he is not going to be a starting wide receiver in Philadelphia. Forget about the outrage from the fans. Look at their wide receiving core and say A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, I can't remember the 3rd wide receiver. Then you have Dallas Goedert as a tight end. There's no way Dotson is the starting wide receiver in that team. He's basically wide receiver 4.
Yeah, do you think wide receiver 3 is up for grabs there, being honest? No. There's a guy called I think it's Watkins, is it? Something like that?
Yeah. No, it's not. I can't. I can't remember. I'll be honest with you. Pickens, is it? That's there. I can't remember.
The thing is, Jesse, a 3rd isn't peanuts. But the thing is, bro, is that we won't even have that going forward because we're going to be using that on a trade for somebody soon ourselves.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, the Spidey senses are saying, well, actually, is there something going to happen before the weekend is out here? It's Paris Campbell. Is currently the wide receiver.
He was at Indy still, yeah.
No. So they've got AJ Brown, Paris Campbell, and Devontae Smith and Jahan Dotson. That's their 4.
Was Quez Watkins?
No, he's not there anymore. He's gone.
Not there anymore. No.
So yeah, I mean, he's not going to get a starting wide receiver role there. That is, yeah, he's going to be wide receiver 4 in Philly. That is what is going to happen. So
yeah, I mean, I think 3 could be up for sale. I do think, but again, yeah, he's got to earn that. You can't just walk straight into it.
Yeah, exactly, and I agree with that. But have we just given up on him because we've believed he's not the answer? You don't know what his attitude's like in the locker room. I mean, he always came across in interviews very well. He always came across as quite an intelligent guy. I believed in it. But we have to look back here again, Scouse, at Ron's fucking picks. This previous regime's picks. Look at what you could have won. You could have had Hamilton. You could have had Rayshawn Slater. You could have had JOK. You could have had fucking Gonzalez. And instead, we got Chase Young. We got Jermaine Davis. We got Herbert, but that was never going to happen. I will forgive Ron Rivera Chase Young because that was the consensus pick by every man and his dog, and I'm not going to forgo him that. The other 3, though, Jamin Davis might not make our roster. Jahan Dotson, gone. Forbes, gone. Look at the trade we had. We thought we absolutely... Well, yeah, we don't know he's gone, but you know what I mean. We absolutely thought we killed the trade. We got Dotson, B-Rob, Sam Howell, and Cole Turner, and they got Chris Olave in New Orleans.
The only one that's
which trade would you exactly? Which trade would you want?
Well,
genuinely, if you could look back now, which trade would you want?
Obviously, if you're looking at it from hindsight, 2020, of course, you want to keep the Chris Olave.
Yeah, absolutely.
But again, at the time, we were all happy with it because I thought, well, we got our starting potential franchise quarterback. Obviously, fell through the chitter, and then also a good running back, which B-Rob is. So I'm still happy with that pick. And Turner was an added. Do you know what I mean? Like for me, I say I've never been really impressed with Turner, to be honest. So. It wouldn't really bother me if he got cut this week either, to be honest.
Well, I think he's gonna get cut.
Yeah. I mean, said that's one of them, man. I say that trade has gone fucking Pete Tong in a big way,
massively. So questions have to be asked there, but it's like we're just purging every pick from the Ron Rivera era. Yeah, they're all going to go in.
Don't forget though, we talk about the Ron Rivera era. One of those guys is still there in the building.
Yep.
Marty Mayhem, he's still there, bro. He's still there. He was one of these guys making these big picks. Just saying, he's still there now. I know Peters might be able to, shut him up a little bit or just give him zero power or whatever. But the thing is, it's like, while he's still in the building, there's always that thought in the back of my mind that you might be able to persuade Peters to go with someone shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I don't want. So, yeah, man, I mean.
So the podfather here, Kyle Ronick, from the Burgundy Zone, he's put a question in and he said, why was Jahan Dotson traded? I mean, what do you genuinely think it is?
I think there's obviously a few things. B-Bitch mentioned a few things, about his attitude. Even Deluxe mentions here, he sounds like he wasn't a fit schematically. Yeah. Again, it makes sense. All these things do make sense of why you would get rid of somebody, especially as we know, he wasn't their pick. So that first round doesn't mean shit. That first round label doesn't mean shit because they didn't pick him in the first round. You know what I mean? It was Ron. So I get it. And the thing is, it's like, I'm just thinking, man, this is does he deserve to, I mean, don't forget, man, think about this. 2 weeks ago, we were thinking Jahan Dotson's wide receiver 2 locked.
Yeah.
Weren't we? 2 weeks ago, we were saying that. And now it's like, shit. And then it's like, oh no, now DQ said he's not wide receiver 2. What's going on? And then it's bang. Now he's just out the fucking team. So things have gone fast with that Jahan, like really has.
So there's a couple of questions here from Tim Towner. Shout out to Tim Towner who won our hoodie on the chat. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Wait there a minute.
Yeah, go on.
I mean, so Scott G mentioned, remember Marty was in San Francisco as well, and you read about their roster. He was not part of that team, mate. You actually made that roster. Trust me, he was just fucking fannying around. It was all about Peters and the other dude who's there now. Yeah. What's his name? Lynch,
is it? Yeah.
So, yes. So, forget about Marty Herney being that he was the bollocks in San Francisco. He was there when they were fucking 2-16, or whether it was 2-14, whether it was that season. They were awful. So, don't give me that.
So, he said Dotson's been traded.
We need to move on from Marty. That's what we need to do, Scott. That's what we need to do. Get rid of fucking Marty Mayhem. I'm telling you.
So Tim Town has said Dotson has been traded and we have added 3 picks to the 2025 draft class. Harris has a history of tanking during his rebuilds in other franchises, in other sports. Is that what this was?
I can't see it being a tanking job.
I can't see it tanking. No, I can't.
I mean, would you bring in the vets that we've brought in this year if you're going to think about tanking?
No, I don't believe you would. I don't think the likes of Zach Ertz
Zach Ertz, B-Wags and all that, and Chin, and these guys wouldn't come to go, do you know what? Yeah, we're going to tank this year. I'm going to be another 3-13, 3-14 team. It ain't going to happen, man. So, nah, for me, it can't. That really pissed me off if we did that, to be fair, if that's what we genuinely thought. Because that's given, the ownership has given us mixed signals there. They're saying, well, we're going to try and be competitive this year. We've got some decent vets, etc., etc. Then all of a sudden go, well, actually, we really were tanking. You know what I mean? Like, I can't deal with that in the same season. You know what I mean? So, no. For me, it's about kind of being competitive, even if it might not be great, but competitive at least.
Yeah, so Mike Canada Mike here, he's put in, can we go back to talking about kickers? Yeah, maybe it was a bit brighter. I get you, Mike.
What's going on, Mike? Don't you like wide receivers, mate? No.
Going back to Rod in the chat as well. Rod put a few questions in. He said, Bryson Tremaine has been lighting it up so far.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, these guys are no marks. These guys are not going to move any needles for anybody.
So, yeah, I agree with that. Following on from that, then, Tim Towner's second question was, what does the wide receiver room look like now? You know, do you think we're done there? Do you think there's something that we're going to do? I mean, are we back in the Ayuk? Are we back in the Ayuk sweepstakes? Are we going to get T. Higgins? Are we going to get CD Lamb? No.
Might as well throw him in the mix as well while he's holding out. Yeah. Let's throw all these guys in the mix. No, man. I mean, you got to be realistic here as well. I mean.
Hopkins was good, wasn't he? Mike says no, he really wasn't.
Yeah, DeAndre. Yeah, he was good a few years back.
Yeah. DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, absolutely.
But the thing is, I mean, it's difficult because would you want any of those wide receivers you just mentioned there? Of course you would. You'd want any one of those guys.
Absolutely. Yeah.
No, I mean the worst guy is probably T. Higgins, and T. Higgins is a good receiver.
He'd still be a 1B, maybe.
Potentially.
In line with Terry?
I mean, obviously, Chase is the main guy over there. But then saying that, as Higgins is a very good receiver, I wouldn't put him in the top 10 receivers, though. Like you mentioned, Lamb, Chase, those other guys. Those guys are in the top 10. They are top 10 wide receivers.
In there, yeah.
The only one who isn't out of the ones you mentioned is T. Higgins. T. Higgins is probably top 20 receiver, maybe. He's good. Don't get me wrong, but...
I get what you were saying, but before about, you know, we were talking before off the stream. You were saying, you know, you're going to be paying 25-ish million for T. Higgins, maybe early 20s, like 22 million, that sort of range.
I mean, that's cap it this year because he is on the bag this year.
But you were saying, well, for an extra 8 million, you're going to get Ayuk.
Yeah, you're getting a proven top 10 receiver, and people tell me he's not the one. They're just talking out the arse.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, but you have to.
The wide receiver one. I don't care what anyone says.
I think the whole problem with the Ayuk trade is what are you giving up to get him?
Yes, give him that third and those 7th rounders that we just got. Yeah, I'll get that. Have that and maybe throw a second in as well and go ahead.
So a second, a third, and 2 7ths.
Yeah, but none of those. They're extras, bro. There's only losing a second rounder.
So you're pissed off before about losing John Dotson for absolute peanuts, and now you're saying, well, actually, we're going to give these picks up plus a second for Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah,
come on. I mean,
come on. What do you mean?
You've got a bigger nose than Pinocchio here. What the fuck's going on?
2 more years on his contract and doesn't want 30 million a year. No, that's gonna drop down people's draft stock because of how much he wants. You're gonna go in there and go, oh yeah, I'm gonna give this guy 2 first rounders for a dude that say wants 30 million a year that no one can afford to buy. That ain't gonna happen. He'll be going.
Rod says CD Lamb still hasn't signed.
Yeah,
Jerry Jones is not giving up CD Lamb, especially in division. It is that's his prized possession. That is not going to happen. Well, if he does, I swear I will go on Bleeding Burgundy podcast. I will eat the hottest chili pepper I can find live on the show.
Lamb,
you can watch my head boil. It's not going to happen.
The thing is here, right? The thing is with CD Lamb is that
40 mil.
He wants basically, Jefferson money. That's what he wants. Yeah. 35 mil average per year. Now the thing is, bro. The thing is that they are absolutely having themselves off because Jerry Jones is trying to underpay him, take the piss out of him.
I know.
You offered him 31, 32 million a year. What's the difference between the when you're arguing over 2 or 3 mil, when you know you got the proven real deal, or rather than going, well, okay, then I'll let him walk or trade him for whatever, and then you're going to get another receiver and you might not be anywhere near as good, and then eventually you got to pay that guy big money at some point. What's the difference is paying the extra 5 mil? I'd rather have paid the extra 5 mil a year or whatever it is, get the proven quality dude that you really want. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Why do that and go, oh yeah, this kind of beans here is like, 50p. Oh, yeah, it's good, though. Yeah. Tastes like shit, though, but, it's all right. But then there's good one here. It's £1.50.
There's Heinz one for £1.50.
Yeah, exactly. Heinz is £1.50. Okay. well, I don't really want to pay the extra £1, but this is what we're talking about. We're talking about the same quality dudes. You know what I mean? We're talking about quality receivers.
We're talking about cans of beans.
They get paid, bro. They get paid.
Yeah, I know. I know they do. And this is
quarterbacks get paid. End of.
This is the world we're in now in the NFL because the salary cap's going up and up every year. There's more and more merchandising deals. There's TV deals all over the spot. I mean, Jesus Christ. That was the other thing I wanted to talk about was, have you seen the cost of what they're charging our American cousins to watch Red Zone and Sunday Ticket or whatever it's called, the NFL shows? It's like $700. It's like, I'm pissed off paying 6 payments of $29.99. Like, and I can watch every game possible.
I mean, do they get more for the money than that, though?
No, they don't.
You don't get like literally that. Or something else, no?
Nothing. No, nothing. It is ridiculous. Someone broke it down and said if you wanted to watch every single game, and you wanted to watch all of the action, and you had every channel, that's all the subscriptions, it worked out, it was something like $1,350 a year. I mean, that is a rip-off.
That's kind of like our Sky TV packages. Fucking rip us off.
Yeah, it is. It's an absolute joke. I mean, again, the same thing could be said for all pay-per-view. You Americans get absolutely shafted that way. I'm not trying to be rude to you, but like Canelo Alvarez is fighting again soon, and I've just seen the pay-per-view price. It's $89.99. If you want to buy it in the UK, it's $29.99. So that's what, $35.
Well, the Yanks do get paid more than us, though.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. But even so, wow. I mean, yeah. I know it's the NFL, but Salah's just gone to Everton.
You know, no, I don't think he has, bro.
You just sign off. You just sign off. How are you gone? See it. And Scouse has left. But yeah, nice.
He left the building permanently. Yeah.
So let's get back onto this Jahan Dotson thing then. So what are we thinking the wide receiver room is going to look like now? I mean, are we actually saying now that De'Ami Brown is 100% wide receiver 2?
I mean, it looks it at the moment. I mean, fair play to De'Ami. I mean, you know, I'm going to give him his flowers because we were both saying this guy's on the bubble. More than likely he's going to be gone. And this guy's put the work in, and you can see the work. You can see his route tree is getting better, even though the shorter routes, etc., etc. His hands are good. You know, he's making some good catches. That's what you want to see. You want to see these receivers do that. You know, put the work in, and then see it work out for them on the field. So at the moment, yeah, he probably is wide receiver 2. You know, probably a lock at 2 at the moment. I can't see anybody coming in unless you trade for somebody. I can't see anybody taking that from him at this moment.
So Canada Mike, who's in the chat with us, Mike Allen, he said, how many TDs will Dotson score against us in the 2 games? None is the answer to that.
I'm going to say 4.
Mike. 4? Well, he gets two a game, or is he going to get a hat trick in one game?
Yeah, he will.
No.
You know, our players come back to bite us, to haunt us every time. You know it, man.
I'm going to say 0. I'm going to say 0. I'll have a bet with you on that. I will place 10 English pounds on this podcast right now that Jahan Dotson will not score a single touchdown against us this season.
I'll take that.
All right, there you go. It's on. Tenner.
If he gets 1 though, that means I win. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Right. I'll take that bet. Come on, Benji St. Juice. I'm going
to play the odds on that. I'm going to play the percentages on that one there.
I know what you're saying.
And then you've got St. Ghost. You got
St. Ghost and Forbes.
Exactly. You seem very confident on this 4 quarters.
That was it was 33 minutes. Can I take that back? No. Oh dear.
That's what have I done? Very easily.
What have I done? So Rod asked us a question about Dotson. He said, wow, so Dotson's gone and the Eagles, his lack of physicality and rumour of lack of application have caused this to not really be that surprising. So De'Ami is wide receiver 2, open-ended. The door for Luke McCaffrey is now, and the big rookie who's made all the plays. What's your thoughts, guys? I'm like, I mean, Luke McCaffrey, obviously, yeah, he's in there. We want him to come good, but there's not much expectation on Luke this year. I still think there's something in the pipeline
the third round, and you've got to expect something, to be fair.
Jesse's talking the truth here. Darren says, what's happening? Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, that's really speaking the truth. hands to face. Yeah, Scott, my guess to put him on lock. Okay, yeah. I mean, the thing is that are you going to put your best corner on a wide receiver 3/4? No, you're not. So Mikey S won't even be anywhere near him, to be honest.
So on that point, then another question that came in from Deluxe was, who now wears number 1?
What do you think?
I would say Samra still. I would say Samra still could wear 1, but why doesn't Samra still go to Marcus Mariota now and say, "Hey Marcus, give me the 0. You can have number 1," because that's his college number.
Well, Sanistrell, I thought he was number 2.
Was he 2? I thought he was a 0 as well.
I could be wrong. I mean, I'm not huge into college.
Tress could wear number 1. Wow, that's a great shout, Cam. I like that. Yeah,
that was the one I was thinking of. Was Tress Way thinking, why have 10? That sounds weird. You know what I mean? Whereas 1's.
But Samra still doesn't have a number. He's wearing 2 at the minute, shared with Diarmi.
Yeah, true.
So
interesting.
And 3 is there, but Cade York, I think, is probably going to wear that. I don't know.
Well, you better be good enough to wear number 3. Otherwise, they give you number 300, and I'll see you on the couch next week. You know what I mean? So
well, he's not going to be here long, so it doesn't really matter. Does he? Could wear number 8, number 7, number 99. I don't give a shit. Well, it's not going to be there, is he? Obviously, wear a defensive end's number. Who cares? It doesn't bother me at all. But I mean, number 1, Samra still, or a good shout is Tress Way. It's a interesting question.
All depends, because I think Tress picked 10 because he didn't have 10 in college for 1 year, something like that.
He was 5. Yeah, he might have done.
He was 5 for most of his career. That's why he was 5 for us. But I'm sure he was like his rookie year in college. He might have been 10, but I could be wrong with that. But I'm sure I saw him once having the 10 jersey.
Interesting.
Might want to keep it.
So do you think there's something in the works here for wide receivers? Do you think there's something going on?
There has to be. I would be worried, man, if this is our wide receiver room going into the season, because we don't really have a proven wide receiver 2. I say Diarmi was bubble guy, now potentially the wide receiver 2. So
yeah,
I mean, great that you might have these up and coming youngsters, Bryson Tremaine. I'm hoping that he makes it. He's definitely at this moment. It's a little easier to make the team now at this moment in the wide receiver room. You've even got Bryant.
Yeah,
can he still produce something? It just worries me that we're not going to go for. We're thinking we're going to go for like a big name or at least attempt to try and get a big name. What we might end up doing is getting like Antonio Brown, who's like totally finished, head fell off, all the rest of it. You know what I mean? Yeah, and then
Antonio Brown.
Yeah, these are the guys.
Why don't we trade for Megatron?
yeah. Might as well see if he comes out of retirement. I mean,
maybe Chad Ochocinco's still free. I don't know. You know what I mean?
To be fair, Chad's probably still better than most of our receivers.
Darryl Green can play wide receiver. Good God.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, it's pretty slim pickings. As I say before, we talked about it. Wide receiver room. Was it an amazing room? No, but we knew that most of the players though it was the most competitive room because they weren't massively higher level than others. You know what I mean? Like there's like 5 guys there that are pretty similar in level of play. You had your Terry number 1, then you had Jahan number 2, and then you had all the other guys were kind of, you could say Dion was slightly better, but not by a lot, and then the other guys were all kind of the same. And that's the problem now, is that now you've lost Jahan, now you've got Terry, then you've got the big gap to Diarmi as 2, and then you've got all these little guys all on the same level. That worries you going into a 18, 19, 20 game season if you go to the playoffs, you know what I mean? So, it's scary, man.
I like your thinking 20 games.
Yeah, I want to see 20 games. But yeah, it's just one of them, mate. I'm getting a.
Yeah, so I mean, Scott G says,
we got to do something.
Scott G says here, Jesse, can you believe Scouse just ignored the fact that you were right about Mike lining up outside, even after saying he won't be lined up on Dotson, who will be in the slot?
Dotson won't even be playing, as you said before. So
I doubt it. He's going to be wide receiver 4, but I don't think Mike Sanders. I think Mike Sanders still is our best corner by miles, and I still think he will line up outside. I don't think it will be Forbes.
He's not big enough for me to be outside a lot. Like, yeah, for bits, for certain plays, yeah, but for most of the time, I wouldn't like it, you know, because for me, he's a lockdown slot. For me, he's lockdown.
Okay, so we'll come off topic a bit here, and we've got obviously the second pick on the waiver wire. What are you looking at if you are Adam Peters? I'll put you in Adam Peters' shoes right now. What are you looking at on cut down day and saying, well, okay, we've kind of made our 53. What are you targeting? Is it definitely going to be, oh yeah, you know, I'm going to look at OT? Is it definitely going to be, oh, I'm going to look at corner? Or are you looking at wide receiver? Are you going to go, no, I need the best kicker possible? What are you doing? There's options everywhere now, aren't there?
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's how bad our team is that there's so many positions that we need. So it's and then don't forget, we're getting somebody else's cast-offs, so they mustn't be that great. Do you know what I mean? So for me, you just got to see the list of players who come through and then make a decision from there. This is the hardest part. Yeah, of course, you're going to look at players of need, as in positions of need, and the best player available in those lists through the waiver wire. You need to know who's there, and then for me, if York is shocking, then I think kicker's got to be the one you got to look at first. You know, you've got a Coleman a tackle that we hope's going to be good. We don't know because he's not played, you know, etc., etc. But and the same with the receivers as well. Like, yeah, you kind of know what you've got. We're hoping we're going to trade for somebody, so you might not need to go down the receiver route. But then, kicker is definitely the one, man. You know what I mean? I think
I agree.
It has to be. I think it has to be kicker if Cade York was awful in that game.
Yeah, probably right. You're probably right. I mean, it's going to be.
I can't believe Scott G just loves Jesse way too much. I mean, this is what's the problem here, bro. You know,
I think we'll just put peace and love this podcast, mate. Peace and love.
No, but the thing is here is that you're going, oh, Darrell Green was smaller, but Darrell Green was an outside corner his whole career. You know what I mean? Like, before he even came to the NFL, you know, these guys, Sanistrell's always been a slot. Well, receiver and then a slot. That's what he was. That's what he is. Now, again, of course, he might be able to improve and get better, but he's not Darrell Green on the outside. He just isn't.
Watch us sign some.
I love Sanistrell. I love Sanistrell. Don't get me wrong. He's one of my favorite players from Crown Court. He really was. But for a slot player, not for fucking outside corner. You know, like regularly. I don't like it. I just don't like the idea, man.
You watch us sign some 7th round cast off draft pick wide receiver who's played for the Rams or something like that.
Or
Arizona
or something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
defensive end. Yeah, exactly. You're like, what? Where's this come from?
You know, there's going to be some sort of scratchy head moments. You're thinking, what the hell is that about? You know, you're definitely going to see it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, honestly. So remember, guys, we have agreed that it would take 3 drafts to fix it, but it has to be kicker, and OT seems down the pecking list. Yeah, I agree, and I said that. I've said that, Rod, and you agreed with me as well. It takes this long to do that, to have a full rebuild, and people have called it a retooling or a recalibration, whatever they've decided to call it over here. It isn't going to be overnight, and we've said this. We have to plead patience, and we know where our holes are. I mean, the bit that worried me the most going into this season was tackle and then corner as well. And I look at this and think now, now wide receiver's a problem, potentially. Kicker's a definite problem that's reared its head. So yes, we have areas that we need to improve on, but it's really difficult to think where do we go from here? You know, what do we do first? Corner. It has to be corner for me. It has to be. That's got to be the one place we're looking at because kickers 10 a penny, aren't they?
Deep down, though, top corners, mate, just don't get let go.
No, they don't. You're right. They get signed on big contracts
on free agency. The crazy money free agents, or they never get to see cut or free agency because you just get signed up. They get locked up. True lockdown corners, mate, are going to get. There's not many of them around, man. and they cost a lot of dollar, man, and we have,
True.
and they're never going to be available for us to get. So,
So Scouse, the last bit of news, mate, which we'll move on to, is that it was obvious to every man and his dog that this was going to happen. Jaden Daniels was named quarterback 1 for the season. I mean, yeah. Let's not make a massive fuss over this.
I mean, there's exactly, man. It's not it's a bit of a nothing burger, really, because
of course it is.
We all knew you're not going to be number 2 overall pick. I mean, even if you're shite like Drake May's been in preseason, he's still going to be the starter. I don't care what they say; he's still going to be the starter. They're saying they're not, but he will be. Trust me, he'll be the starter. So, and plus that Jaden has actually played quite very well as well. To be fair,
too many J's, man. I went Jahan, you went Jamin. Too many J's.
Jaden, yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, but for sure. I mean, he's done everything really you can kind of expect, or what you should expect from a number 2 who's got some experience about him in the college game, which Jaden has. So I'm very pleased at what he's doing. He's obviously played really well. And I don't want to jinx him. I really do hope he's the real deal. He looks it at the moment, but I want to see what he's like when he's under that pressure, when he's not being loved. When he's having a few bad games, or when the fans start getting on his case. When he's not he's not the golden child anymore, because he was the golden child at LSU. He's always been loved. So what's he like when he's playing poorly? Can he handle it? He seems to have the mentality that he's quite even keel, which is exactly what I want for my quarterback. I don't want him to be like me, hothead 1 minute and then chilled next. That doesn't really work.
You Scouse? No, you're not like that.
Yeah. You know what I mean? This easy to ramp me up. You know what I mean? Like, it's so easy to turn me on 10. Those things happen, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, you can definitely bite me. I can definitely bite. And it's dead easy. It's dead easy to do it. So for me,
Scott G and Jesse get you every single week in this chat.
They're actually in the same team. I can't believe they're on the same team. I remember the Twitter speeches with them. At times. So Rod's mentioned here was does he play Sunday? Talking about Jaden, and no, he's not going to play. No chance. At all. No. He's got nothing else to prove now. He's proven that he keeps the ball well. He doesn't throw picks. Yeah. But you Scouse sizzle. I think I've already kind of did that without saying it, really, didn't we? With the
we'll bring back the sizzle segment. It will be back. I promise you. When we get into the season, that is definitely something that there. Well, Scouse will move on, mate, to the review of the Miami game. We'll only be quick over this. It's 13-6 to Miami, but we're in it with 10 seconds to go. Who was stock up for you and who was stock down? What we'll do is we'll take one from the defense and one from the offense. I'll let you take the first one on that on stock up.
Tyler Owens for me. Tyler Owens. I mean, this guy looks legit, man. He is all over the field.
It looks the real.
He really is playing like he's a 10 out of 10 on the RAS score. If that makes sense.
I told you that he was a 10 out of 10. Yeah. How many weeks have we said this?
yeah, man. Well, the RAS score, this, that crap. But yeah, man. I mean, yeah. But you can tell he's got the football and brain as well. Like Jamin, for example, Jamin's got the physicality and the speed and all that as a RAS of that high, but he's not good up here. Do you know what I mean? Where Owens has, you can see it. And he's a lock for the team. He shouldn't even play this week, to be fair.
No, I don't think he should. I think he's a definite lock on this roster. I think he's earned his place on this roster. Another stock up. I mean, for me, from the defense, I've got to give it to Jamin Davis. He had a strip sack. He was pretty good by all accounts. I mean, yes, he was still out there in the third quarter, which is not what you want to see from a former first-round pick. But he did what he had to do, and he had a solid game. So fair play to Jamin for that. And I wish him well. I hope he makes the team. We'll see if he does or not, but it'll be interesting. A stock up for you on offense then, Scouse?
I mean, besides Jaden,
yeah,
there's probably nobody else really. I mean, you could see Jeff as well. Good old Jeff Driscoll.
My name Jeff.
Our boy Jeff. Yeah, man. I mean,
he's playing the whole of the fourth game, I think.
Yeah,
Or McSorley. I mean,
McCauley's awful. Yeah, I mean, I know it's unfair to rip him to shreds because he didn't have any practice and he went straight into the game. And
I think he literally got there 12 hours before.
Yeah,
it's like me getting off a flight and going, go and play.
Yeah, exactly. Against guys who were like fighting for their lives and the jobs. It's definitely a bad situation for him. But yeah, man. I think Jess played really well in this preseason. I really do. I thought he was just another camp body. This guy could actually make the team. I really do.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Mariota's thing is actually on notice.
6
Unnoticed.
million. No way. No.
I could see Minnesota coming in. Could see Minnesota saying, "Hey, fancy trading Mariota."
Possibly.
Seventh.
Possibly. So what we'll give you then is we'll give you a first-round pick next year. We'll give you a second. We'll give you the third we've acquired, the 2 sevenths. We'll hand you Jamin Davis, and we'll also give you Mariota in exchange for Justin Jefferson. Yeah, thanks very much. Oh, God. Yes is the answer.
Or would you pay? Would you be happy to pay his wages though? Because everyone's going on about.
Who cares? We've got the cap space. It's fine.
Exactly. So no one can say about Brandon Ayuk then, can they?
No. So
obviously,
Styles Worley.
Oh yeah.
He had a penalty, and he had 2 penalties. He had a false start and a holding call. Wasn't a great show, but
that was in the first drive as well. I think it was stupid like that as well.
It was in the first drive. Yeah,
Turnstile, mate. He is literally the worst starting right tackle in any.
We've said this. NFL. He's not the worst starting right tackle in the NFL. Behave yourself.
Starting right tackle. He is.
No,
he is the worst starting right tackle.
No, he's not. No.
Okay, tell me who's worse.
I can't off the top of my head.
See, because there isn't anybody. That's why, bro.
No, because I don't look at offensive line that bad. Does he suck? Yes. Are we gonna have to put up with it?
He's the worst starter.
No, not
starting caliber right tackle. He is poor. No. Okay, he's better than some backups, but he's not better than he starters in the other team. He wouldn't get anybody on the team starting right tackle.
Both Scott G and Cameron, which is Friday podcast. If you haven't, go and subscribe to the Friday Football Pod. It's very good. They answered my question the other day as well about Annan Athletic and Queen of the South. So thank you for doing that. I appreciate it.
QB3, mate. Bloody hell.
Oh, mate, I love a bit of Scottish football. lower leagues, it's class. He said Driscoll or Hartman, and Scott G said the same thing. Driscoll or Hartman, which one goes to the practice squad? I mean, Hartman, for me, I think actually gets IR'd, just so we can kind of stash him away.
Do you think? But don't forget that. So put him on IR. That one, that's a season ender, though, isn't it? That one you're talking about.
But if you've got Driscoll,
yeah, but I mean, this guy might want to play somewhere. Oh, wasn't Hartman already?
He was drafted by some UFL team. Yeah.
So what happens there then? So say for example we put him on IR for the full season, so we keep him, so we haven't got to cut him or whatever. And then the UFL team want him.
It's up to him to sign. It's up to him to sign. He can sign a contract with us and be on IR, or he can leave and go and play in the UFL.
But does that make a mockery though that he's not really IR'd injured? As in injured for the full season, if he can play a month down the line playing for the UFL or whatever, would that make a mockery of the IR system?
I know. It does make a mockery of the IR system, but we had that last season with Braden Daniels, so
Yeah, but he didn't. Yeah, but he didn't go to UFL and play tackle all season.
No, I know what you mean. Do you
know what I'm saying? So if you're talking about like IR, I understand us using IR to try and keep players who probably aren't ready yet for the practice squad, but you don't want to let them go. I get that. But what I'm trying to say is...
But then the UFL doesn't start till March.
Oh, right, yeah. So they probably say he's fit by then. Yeah. Probably get away with it. This is interesting.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, McGee, again, that's prime IR candidate. And I know it sounds daft, but it says meniscus... that he had.
I read as well. MCL.
It was MCL. It was MCL is what actually came out of Dan Quinn's mouth.
Needed it repairing.
Yeah. So if you've had an MCL injury, I've had an MCL injury. I did ACL, PCL, MCL all at the same time. Now, MCL is not a great injury to have because that's the medial, medial ligament is
You're right, medial, yeah.
the one that
allows
holds
you
your knee together.
It allows you to cut, you see. That's the thing. That's
Correct.
the big one. Allows you to multiple directions, and obviously as a linebacker at speed, you need to be able to cut properly. Simple as that. So if he's had that repaired, now if he needed a surgical repair,
which he has had done, and
then
you don't know whether,
you're looking at
and you don't know if there's a
possible grade 3 sprains. So which means
you don't know if you've got meniscus tear there as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
so
and that's the thing, because the MCL and the medial meniscus actually do connect. So it's probably the reason why he probably has had both. You know, mentioned that he's had to trim some of his meniscus or his cartilage, and then the MCL repair as well. But the difference is the MCL repair. They're saying it's not a season ender, but he's still a good few months out.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
It's 8 to 10 weeks minimum.
Easy, yeah. So you might be coming. You might see him at the end of the season. You know what I mean? Like, you know, going to January, something like that. Not January, like December, something like that. You might see him maybe the end of November even. I just don't think. I think that's a little bit short. That 6 weeks to repair. You know, because the MCL, like any ligament, Rod, the blood flow is not very good to ligaments and tendons, so it takes a lot longer to heal than, say, even a fractured leg, for example. If it was not obviously snapped in half, but a standard fractured leg, it's got a lot of blood supply in there, so it heals after 6 weeks and you can be back playing. Yeah, sure, 6-8 weeks, fine. When you're looking at cartilage tears, you're looking at meniscal injuries, you're looking at these things, MCL injuries as well. These things take time. That's what that it takes a lot longer to heal, especially at these levels. Now, I know this guy will have all the best treatment and he'll have physio every day and he'll be doing this and that, the other, and I get it. And that will speed it up a little bit, but there's only so much you can speed it up by because the flow is very low there. So it takes longer to heal. So 6 weeks is touching it, I think. Yeah, I'm thinking more like you, 8 to 10. I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I know that's what DQ said, Rod, 6 weeks, but I'm not taking DQ's word. I'm taking a professional physiotherapist's word. Do you know what I mean? I'm taking your word on it. And I know what this is like as well. It took me 18 months to get ACL, PCL, MCL, and meniscal tear. 18 months to get fit.
I mean,
I was in the military.
ACL's 9 months.
I was in the military with permanent care, the best I could possibly get in the UK, and 6 weeks, 2 sessions of 6-week rehab, where every single day, 8 hours a day, I was rehabbed. And it still took me 18 months to get back to where I was.
Yeah, I mean, you blew your whole knee with all that, to be fair.
Yeah, I did. I did blow my whole knee.
It's like a Chase Young type injury you had there, really. Like, it was fucked.
But
you know what I mean? So
I think 8 to 10 weeks is where
I think
realistically
there.
be.
I think.
I mean, do you think McGee?
I'll be impressed.
Do you think McGee goes to IR?
I think he does. Yeah, I think he goes to IR. But I don't think season-ending IR. I think the short-term IR.
When does that start, though? So that means we have to name him on the 53. Yeah. And then when does short-term IR start? Is it week 1?
I think so. I could be wrong, though. I mean, I'm sure Scott G will put me right on that one.
I mean, Rod's just asked that exact same question. So, Rod, I'm not aware of that
I think he does. I think he has to be on the 53. Then you can IR him, and then you can bring another player up from the practice squad. I think that's how it works. But again, I could be wrong.
Interesting.
Like I am most of the time.
I'm the same, mate. I'm the same. Well, we'll get into our fan questions then, Scouts, just to kind of finish this off, and then we'll do a bit of a preview on the Patriots. The pod was called Patriot Games, but obviously we've had a few more bits and pieces happen since then, so we've kind of gone off that. So Rod was the first question. He said, question for debate. He said, due to the depth cover, DQ and AP will be calculating a 70-man roster. Therefore, outside of the 53, who will be a lock on the practice squad from the players we have right now? Who's a practice squad lock for you then?
Can you even call it a practice squad lock? Because people can be taken as soon as you let them go.
True, yeah. I mean, but let's just argue the toss and say that in an ideal world they don't get picked up by someone else.
That's interesting, Brian. We'll come back to that.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, I'll star that.
Yeah. So, for me, who's a practice squad lock?
Ben Potato. Played some games last season. He's there. He's
But
in
again,
and
don't
around.
forget though, DQ's got no affiliation to these
True.
guys.
Tariq Castro Fields.
Again, same thing. I mean, this is why this is difficult because now you see Jahan get smoked. You're thinking anybody's on the board really. Could be on at any time, and it doesn't.
We don't know, do we?
And you can't be shocked by it,
Rosemary Jack Saint, you're saying, Brian. Well, that's an interesting one because I've heard
really.
absolutely nothing about him in training camp.
I mean, I was picking him out at the start of pre-season to see that he could be.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Guy, but he's not done much. So, I mean, and then you can think Bryson Tremaine, but then you're thinking he might actually make the roster. So then you think it's it's
Dominic Hampton. Yeah,
he could be a good shout. Guy.
What about the 7th rounder, John Baptiste?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, or the other 7th rounders that we had.
Andre Jones.
Yeah. Is he gone? Was that the Jones who went?
He's still there.
Oh,
it was Keandre Jones. Very similar.
Oh, right, okay.
It's Andre Jones Jr. was our pick last year.
Yeah. So again, you're probably looking at those guys, the 7th rounders. You know what I mean? I mean, one that could be interesting could be Percy Butler.
Ooh, I think he would get picked up by somebody else. I really do.
Potentially, or if you mentioned that, I mean, Jesse was big into. He called it before. Most people. About Forrest could be potential to be cut, Obviously, I think
if you get Derek Forrest or someone like that, up, he's going to go. Yeah,
but he would probably go somewhere else. But I think so it's hard to pick a pure practice squad one at this moment because, as I say, there's guys you can just cut right now and you wouldn't even bat an eyelid. Do you know what I mean? And then there's only a couple of guys you think, you could probably make it practice squad, but then you could think. They might be taken by somebody else first, so it's a little bit difficult. That's like I mentioned, the Butlers, the Forrests, those guys who I think are potential cuts. I really do now after seeing what Tyler Owens can do and what the other guys are doing. So it's interesting.
So Scott G says, he sent us a question in. Thanks, Scott, who's also on with us today. So I appreciate your question. He said, what's the one tailgate food item that you're looking forward to the most on your week 2 visit? Can you tell I'm tired of practice and games that don't count?
Aye. For me, it's got to be the wings, man.
Oh, mate, and you beat me to it.
It's got to be the wings. That's the thing I look forward to the most. The Yanks.
Absolutely.
Well.
They do it well. They do it well.
We do a shit over here. Over
awful.
there, man. Yeah. Different
awful wings over here. That guy who I don't know his name. I'd shout him out, but I can't remember his name. I mean, when we turned up to the tailgate every year and you go and put your $20 in the bin at the top and say, there you go, there's my money. And he's just sitting there cooking racks and racks of wings. You're like,
oh, that guy in the corner, you red salt in the red salt,
mate,
in the corner.
Yeah. With the hot sauce.
Truck. The Redskin truck that's always there. Yeah, man. It's cool. It's cool, Daz. It really is. It's cool going to a tailgate. It is.
Don't call him Daz.
I know he hates it, but it's funny.
He is absolutely. That he is absolutely going to close like you the minute you land.
I'm not under it. It's fine, man. I'm small.
It's true. But no, in all seriousness, it's great tailgating. Honestly, that is a totally weird experience, Scott. We don't do that in this side of the country.
And you go to the NFL London games, it's not the same.
It doesn't happen. Does it?
Man. It really isn't the same. You try to do it, but it's not the same. It really isn't.
I mean, we have a habit. We're obviously the British are habitual drinkers, irrespective of what you see. I mean, I know drinking culture is still big in America, but you can't handle your beer or your liquor, so that's how it is. That is how it is. But in all seriousness, we will go out and drink all day, all night watching soccer, and then we'll go to the game. There's nothing to have 5, 6, 7 pints before you even set off. But to go to a tailgate and go, the beer's completely free and I can eat as many wings as I possibly want for $20. What? Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
It's not a thing, is it? They don't have license.
It's just not a thing.
Technically, do they? It's a donation.
Yeah. It's a donation, exactly.
Yeah, you donate money, and then they use it for charities or to use it to pay for the food itself,
So as a follow up, then Scouse, he's also asked if you needed to provide one food item at the tailgate, what would you make to impress your guests?
I'll go get the steak out. If I'm going to try and impress, get some real steaks, get some nice sirloins, some nice ribeyes out there.
Oh, full on.
Oh yeah,
What, you actually going to sit? You're actually going to sit there and
impressed.
you actually going to sit there and cook them all? I was
Well,
thinking of doing like Toad in the Hole or something.
Nobody likes that shit, man. Nobody.
British staple classics.
You gotta go, man. You gotta
Black
go.
pudding.
Big time. He says that you want to impress your guests. You gotta go big time. You can't go with Toad in the Hole.
Black pudding. Come on.
And a bit of Yanks don't even know what the hell that is. What the hell is fucking Toad in the Hole? You know what I mean?
It's sausage inside Yorkshire puddings. Yorkshire pudding wraps are amazing, mate. You've got to come on now.
Do they even have Yorkshire puddings over there? Like
No.
the way we have them, I mean? Like that?
No.
I don't think they do.
No, so there you go.
I still can't believe it's kids in them. They're actually scones.
Scones, yeah.
Actually, scones? Cheese scones, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Biscuits, yeah. They're basically cheese scones, yeah. It's very strange.
Funny, like.
Yam's been on and put a couple of questions in. He said, in my opinion, as fans, we put too much weight on guys, both good and bad, and focus too much on that and not what the team's cohesiveness or structure is. As fans from across the pond, what is your personal take on people who only cheer or hype for one player versus being more of the team's success? Also, how do you feel about players who have shown potential and good play, but then go through slumps?
Well, I mean, it's, I think from an English point of view, especially when you're looking at like team sports, you think about the team first. Mm-hmm. That's what you do. You want your team to win, not like, I'll make it about Liverpool, for example. Oh, I'm not a Mo Salah supporter. Do you know what I mean? I'm a Liverpool FC supporter. So I support the team. I want the team to be successful and win games. Mm-hmm. So cohesion's part of that. Do you know what I mean? Like who plays well together, who doesn't? You know, some people don't have that chemistry. It is what it is. You know, and then obviously usually when you got a good team, you normally do have a superstar or maybe one or two guys that really stand out because the team was playing that well that you're setting this guy up for success as well. And then his extra level of skill get you the wins, get you the goals, what you need. You know what I mean? Those type of things. That's how it's supposed to be. When you're looking at people, when you're looking at NFL, I mean, again, it should be the same, but it never is it? I mean, you see most of the fans. Oh, I'm a Justin Jefferson fan, but I'm don't really bothered about Minnesota winning. You know what I mean? Like, I can't deal with stuff like that. It's like, no, wait a minute, no.
I agree with that.
AJ, I mean, you should be part of. You should be a Minnesota supporter, then, shouldn't you? You know what I mean? But players, fans move, don't they? You know, if say AJ got traded to say Cleveland, then I become a Cleveland fan, and it doesn't make any sense to me that, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it is loyalty and tribalism that we have over here in our sport, which is very strange. We have teams that we stick to. We don't change them teams.
Shit they are. Yeah.
I mean, well, look at mine, mate. Fucking hell, Carlisle are terrible, but and always have been. Newcastle Falcons didn't win a single game last season. Doesn't mean I'm not going to follow them and I'm going to support what they're doing. It is about team cohesion. It's about having players in the right positions doing the right things, which is what DQ and Adam Peters are preaching, and so is this coaching staff. I'm a supporter of what is the helmet, what is the jersey, and not what is on the back of the jersey. I don't really give a shit what's on the back of the jersey, who's playing, who's not playing. If you're deemed good enough for this 53, and that's the best that we can produce, and we can put it on the field, then that is totally fine by me. As long as you give 100% effort. If you give effort, right, 100% effort, and you do the best that you can possibly do, then we shouldn't be shouting. If we get beat by the better side, then that's fine. You can totally accept that in any sport. It's when you watch players play, for example, in soccer, who take the piss, who are lazy, who slide off, who don't put a challenge in there. When you're seeing NFL players like the safety doesn't make a tackle, the cornerback is weak off the line like Benjamin St. Juste was against Craycraft at the weekend. You know, you look at that and you go, hold on a minute, what's going on? When you're seeing players getting bullied, that's, you know, when they're not communicating between each other, when the offensive lineman isn't telling the center, look, this is what's happening. You know, this is the protection call. That's the shit that pisses you off. And that's really what makes you a fan. And that's when you look at this team and say, well, hold on a minute, we're not getting this right. We're not working as a cohesive unit. And that's what it's about. I don't care. Ideally, I do care because it ruins my weekend, the same as you, I'm sure. I care what the result is. I care passionately about what happens on a Sunday afternoon or an evening or a Monday night football or a Thursday night football. Fucking hell. We've been on this podcast over an hour. We've been doing this for 2 years. Why the hell would I waste my time and effort pissing about 5,000 miles away to get on a plane with 12 guys and buying a season ticket thinking, oh yeah, I love this team as much as any American fan loves this team. But I don't want to see poor effort on the field. That is not what I want to see at all. Every Sunday, I want to see 100% effort, and I can accept if we get beat by a better team. I'm sorry, I had a bit of a rant there as well.
I couldn't agree more with you there. And I think as well, I think why we're liking DQ and the way Witt is as well. Those guys, we're going to be playing nasty. We're going to be playing, means that all the players are going to be like giving it everything they've got. You know what I mean? And that's all you can ask. That's all you can ask. As I say, we haven't got the best players, and we haven't got a stacked team. Like for example, we didn't even go into it. But the gulf in class between the Miami Dolphins team and our team was ridiculous, especially that second half. I mean, they still first round guys. Chop Robinson was still playing in the fourth quarter. It was poor. And I was like, well, great. We haven't got that type of depth. We haven't got that type of quality. Okay, we lost to a better team, a guy who man for man who are better than us.
Yeah.
And they played well. We didn't play, and we played okay, but we didn't play at the level we could have. That's what pisses you off when you know that you haven't done what you're supposed to do. If you do everything you can and you just get beat by a better team, you can put all your hands up and say, Pat Mahomes killed us. Yeah, okay, fine.
Exactly. So look at Mitchell. Look at Mitchell Tinsley at the weekend there, missing that. I know it was thrown behind him slightly. But that's that catch with 10 seconds to go ties the game. You have to catch that if you're making this 53-man roster. You have to catch that ball. So unfortunately, it's hit the road, Jack. You're out of here.
Yeah, I think Tinsley has actually played himself out of an actual spot in this team.
But you're right, mate. We and all the Brits are on here as well. You can't change your team. Your team, the team is your name. All of these ex-Washington fans that moved to Baltimore,
ridiculous.
Rod's the same. 100%. He's saying, this is it's strange. This is what we do here in Europe, especially. I mean, go to any soccer game in Germany. Go to an Italian game. Them fans are passionate as they come. Go to any derby in the UK, and when we say derby, we mean a proper derby, a North London derby, a Liverpool derby, a North East derby, Hearts versus Hibs, Rangers Celtic. I mean, there's so many out there that you can go to, and you think, yeah, this is it. Do you know what I mean? This is passion. This is
tribal.
What they're...
I say it is. And it's also primal as well. Really, once you, I say not everybody, but 9 out of 10 English players. Or English people, just English fans, actually can't. Once they've got their team, that's it. It's them.
Of course it is, and that's why
you can't change.
Washington's been shit ever since I supported them, so it's my fault. Everybody, I apologise, but they've been shit since I started supporting them. You didn't see it all as shit as it was. But why are you a Liverpool fan? You're a Liverpool fan probably because your dad was a Liverpool fan, because your granddad was a Liverpool fan.
And I'm from Liverpool.
There you go. Yeah. That's exactly it. So where am I from? Yeah, I'm from Northumberland, but I'm 32 mile from Carlisle, and I'm 37 mile from Newcastle. So half my family are black and white, but unfortunately it was cheaper to go and watch Carlisle. So my granddad and my dad took me to watch Carlisle. So that's why I'm a Carlisle fan. And you don't change. You never change. That's how it works. And my son goes and watches the games with me. We went on Saturday, watched it against Barrow. It was great driving back down the road to here, giving him the finger all the way home. I fucking loved it. I loved it on Monday when we beat them.
And he finally got a result, didn't he? He finally won a game.
Yeah, 1-0. Yeah, so I could get into work like that.
Yeah,
it was great. It was great, man. It was great. But yeah, great question, by the way, Yam. I appreciate you putting that in. And happy birthday to Yam as well for yesterday. Shout out to him. He's always in our chat, mate, and he's always putting questions out. So
I think he's out on the lash tonight, mate. I think that's why he's not here today.
Maybe. Mike says, this is Canada Mike again, or Mike Allen on the chat. He said, is it time to accept Jamin Davis is the real deal?
You mean the real deal for the practice squad? Yeah. He's definitely the real deal.
I don't know what's going to happen with Jamin. I think he's making
I think he gets let go. I do, man.
Really?
I know they could say, well, that strip sack was, might save him. maybe it might
I
do.
thought he had a
And if
good
it
go.
does, it's like by that, you know what I mean? You know, by the skin of his teeth type thing.
So Mike also says, do you think we are 2 corners and a left tackle away from winning it all? No.
A few more than that, mate. A few more than that.
Yeah,
Nightmare.
I know. Yeah. Commander Viscount, he's got a question. He said, how many safeties do you see making the 53? Now, I've got a list of the safeties here on our roster, mate, because I don't expect you to know them all off the top of your head. So we've signed Kendall Brooks, who is brand new, not making the roster. Percy Butler, Jeremy Chin, Derek Forrest, Dominic Hampton, Quan Martin, Tyler Owens, and Jeremy Reeves. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8.
8.
Yeah,
6?
I mean,
because it depends on special teams. So I think Jeremy Reeves is really on the bubble, and I know people don't want to hear that being.
I think Reeves stays. I do. I think
he stays for his special teams.
He's all pro Revo, isn't he? I mean, and also as well, even though he did miss a couple of tackles that really, I think Carl mentioned on his that was pissing them off by ripping them. That he couldn't tackle for shit. Yeah. But he did lay some wood, though. I must admit, you know, after those few missed tackles of his, you know, he did start laying some wood. So
do you think? I think
we
7?
Yeah, I think 6. I think 6.
That's a really difficult cut down. I mean, Kendall Brooks, see ya. Percy Butler, tough. Jeremy Chin is definitely on the roster.
Yeah.
Derek Forrest, I don't know.
He's on the bubble, man. For me.
Dominic Hampton.
I think practice squad, so I think he'll be coming off
as a fifth rounder.
Out the 9ers. Yeah.
As a fifth rounder.
Out of the 9 guys or 8 guys, I think for sure. I think Hampton's 1.
Quan Martin.
No, he's
definitely
in the team. Yeah.
Tyler Owens.
I think he's in the team.
So do I. And then Jeremy Reeves
in the team. So for me, it's that newbie who's a fool.
4, 5. Yeah. So you've got. Yeah. So you've got one between Percy Butler or Derek Forrest.
Yeah. And I think out of those 2, I think Forrest.
Yeah, I do too.
Because Butler is that good on special teams.
Yeah, I know, but then
Forrest's good on special teams as well. I'm not saying he's not.
Yeah.
He's just not as good.
Well, Forrest didn't play special teams, so
did he not?
It's
did he not?
No, it's
Okay.
Percy Butler's. But Percy Butler's an animal.
Who's the other guy who left? You got Sip.
Sip was on special teams. Yeah,
he was really good special team. I was getting confused.
So Jesse's saying Chin, Martin, Butler, Owens, Hampton. Only 5 make it. Interesting. I think 6 if you include Revo on that as well. And I probably agree with you, Jesse.
I think Hampton's a practice squad guy unless he really balls out in this last game. Because I think he'll play. This last game.
Was he a 5th or a 6th rounder? I can't remember which round we took him in.
Might have been 5th, you know. But
yeah, I think it might be as well. But that's a tough one. Great question, Commander Viscount. Also the winner of our hat. So thank you for putting that question into us. Alid, Wales Commander Alid.
Yes, 5th rounder.
He said he is at Wales Commander. Go and have a look on there. He said, over here in our football, you rarely see a player being sold to a rival team in the same division. So what's the difference with the NFL? And he's put brackets, listening from the Costa del Sol. Well, enjoy the Costa del Crime, Alid. I'm sure you'll love it out there.
Oh, it's raining.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, it's pissing down over here. Cheers. Yeah, thanks for that.
Bye.
What's the difference then between, us trading in division and because this is the second time we've done it. We did it at the draft, and now we've got this trade with Jahan.
I just don't think. I don't think it's. I think this is not as tribal as it is in the UK. Soccer in the UK compared to NFL in the States. Now, again, of course, there is going to be some absolute diehards. You can't take any bad negative press in any way about their team because they just start fighting. There is those type of dudes who are really tribal into it as well. I get it, but for the majority, it isn't the same. It isn't the same over there as it is here.
So, do you think it's just because they see it as a business, then, Scouse?
Yeah, exactly. They see it as a business. numbers and trade, as in draft picks. That's all it's about. You know, if somebody else offered very similar, they probably would still go for the Eagles because it was a slightly better trade offer. You know what I mean? Like, not like over here. Oh, I'll take a £10 million loss and not selling it to my rival. I'll let him go somewhere else instead. See what I mean? Like, which do you have done over here? Liverpool, Man United, for example. We've.
Oh yeah.
I think the last time we actually bought one directly from each other was the 1968 or something. You know, we don't do it. We just don't do it because we just don't like each other in any way. So
Swansea players and Cardiff players don't mix. Newcastle and Sunderland players don't mix.
The only time these
generally.
things happen is if they go to another team first. So say they leave Sunderland, they go to say Birmingham, and then they go to Newcastle.
Yeah. Two or three teams further down the track. Yeah,
you know. But you go.
I mean, look. The only real high-profile one that I can possibly think of. I mean, you could say Rooney from Everton to Man United, but I don't think that was the case. I would say the one that I can think of that was real high-profile was Sol Campbell from obviously.
He didn't play for us, mate. You know about
Gabriel Heinze?
Didn't play for Liverpool.
I don't know if he did or he didn't. I couldn't tell you. Anyway, do you remember Sol Campbell? Do you remember Sol Campbell with burning effigies and? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly, because he went from Spurs to Arsenal. Exactly.
Correct. Yeah,
they hate each other.
That was bad.
That was a direct, but then he was a freebie, so technically he was a free agent. So it was slightly different for him, but he still left Spurs and went to Arsenal straight away. You know, these, as I'm saying, man, these things they just don't really happen that much over here. So when we see it in the NFL, like Dotson going to Eagles, I'm like, yeah, what the fuck are we doing trying to make them better? What are we doing, especially in our own division? What are we doing here? You know, even if they're probably thinking they've got the best out of it, that's the reason why they're happy with the 3 picks that we've got for them. We're happy with it. They're happy with it. But really, we should be like, well, wait a minute. Why the hell are we trying to strengthen a division rival? We shouldn't be. You know? So, yeah. So that's why I messed with my head, like, kind of.
Steve Bull, West Brom to Wolves. Woof. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was.
I bet you got some shit for that, like, yeah.
Tell you what they think of Dotson.
As well, isn't he?
Well, that's what I thought there. He is their all-time top scorer. Yeah, Scott, you're right there with what you're saying. That's what it tells you what they're thinking of Dotson. You're not afraid of facing him twice a year, especially if they're giving that 5th away and saying we're cutting losses now. See you later. You know what are you getting for this? I mean, like we said at the start of the pod, he's He's going to be 4th choice wide receiver at the Eagles, realistically. So, yeah. And Darren said, yeah, you're right, 1964.
I told you I'm always right. I mean, we've had guys before that.
I'm always right, piss off.
Especially with football. More than NFL.
That nose is getting bigger and bigger. Jesus. Yeah. Honestly, Pinocchio's got a smaller nose than you. Christ almighty.
I say, we've had guys come from United via us, from another team first. Like Michael Owen went to United. Or went to Newcastle first, those type of things.
Yeah.
Paul
did he not have Real Madrid in the middle, Owen?
Yeah, he left to Real Madrid, then went to Newcastle, and then went. I think he actually went to United when he was on his way out, didn't he? But
he did, yeah.
But those things do happen, but they don't happen directly. Do you know what I mean? It's always in and about. So say Paul Ince as well was United player for a long time, then went to Inter, and we got him from Inter. So those things, let's say, happen, but it's not the same, and it really isn't. Like as I'm saying, that's why I mess with my head when we see people being traded to the Eagles. Or that's why I was pissed off when Kerrigan went to the Eagles. Yeah, I was like, I know he left on a free. We didn't trade him, but it was still like, oh, wait there a minute,
to watch him in that uniform,
he's our legend. You know what I mean? He's our legend, not yours. Fuck off.
It just sucked.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
So here's another one from Mike. He said, with the latest trades and probable trades to come, is my 12-win prediction now looking a bit negative, if anything? 14 wins, mate.
Saying stuff like you went to a big team like Wolves. I mean, look, that's how delusional Mike is. You know what I mean? So, Wolves aren't big by any means.
Wolves are massive, mate. Wolves are a massive team.
What have they won?
Come on now. What
have they won?
I honestly couldn't tell you.
Nothing, exactly.
Fan, but they're big.
They're a big team. In the 1950s or something like that. Yeah, real big time.
Oxford
real
United
big
Milk
time.
Cup, yeah.
Yeah, the Milk Cup, yeah. You know,
Come on, man.
big teams win trophies, man, regularly.
Dude,
And in football, there's loads of trophies to win.
I'm
Yeah, the
still dying.
Sheffield trophy. Here you go. See.
Yeah, I'm still dying. I'm still dining off the 4-3 win away at Roma in 1968 in the Intertoto Cup. Come on. But yeah,
That's
it's
what I mean,
what
man.
it
Like,
is.
you know, big teams win things or have got massive fan bases. And Wolves, yeah, and Wolverhampton they have, but I wouldn't say worldwide. I know kind of Mike probably changes the demographic a little bit. Right now he's in Canada, but most guys live local to Wolves, you know.
I know what you're saying. Right, last question that we've got from our fans then is who is on your no trade list? For me, it's Terry and B Rob, and that is from Deluxe.
Yeah, those two, and obviously Jaden Daniels as well.
That's it. That's the only three. That's the only three for me.
They're the no trade. Yeah, they should be the no traders. I mean, you could say if you really wanted to, you could look into the safeties. You know, your Quan Martins. You probably wouldn't want to trade them.
Tress?
Way maybe. Yeah. Mike mentioned it there. But again, those are the guys that really should be. No one's really safe, if that makes sense. You know,
no one is. If someone came in and said, "Hey, here's a first round pick for Terry," do you?
Yeah, you definitely got to consider it, haven't you?
Yeah.
You know, you really do.
Cosme is a great shout, Brian.
That is a great shout. That is a great shout. But the thing is, you've got to sign him up on a new deal.
Got to sign him on. That's the thing.
Then he's going to be leaving as well. So, and Payne and Allen. I mean, these guys. I mean,
nope.
You know, I wouldn't say there were no traders. Like, you know, you're definitely not a trader. These guys are like, look, man. If someone offers you a first round for one of them guys, you probably would. You probably would take it, even for Deron Payne or who's in his prime years. You probably would, even though you spent a first on him, you know. But
I mean, you're right, Scott, in what you're saying. Jaden Daniels and Mikey Sanders still, but we haven't seen them play. So, in all honesty, I get it. I completely get it. I get what you're saying. I hope that is the case. But yeah. Probably right, Jesse. Probably right, Jesse. Jesse's saying Jaden is the absolute only no trade. Everyone else is up for grabs, even Terry. But we can't base Jaden off preseason. We can't base Mike Samra off preseason. We have to see them play. Wagner, I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, I think Wagner's been let go a couple of times now. Free agency, he's been out there, you know.
Frankie Louvu's a good shout. Mike Dotson.
He's a big trade clause, him. Big trade. Not no trade. Oh, yeah.
Frankie Lou. Yeah, so I think Terry, B-Rob, and Jaden Daniels is probably where you're going to go, isn't it? There's not going to be anyone else, really, off that. But
I'd say you might be looking eventually at your Cosme and your and your Mikey Sanastrill. I mean, once he starts playing more, as you say. And even Louvu might come into that after the season. He might go, bloody hell, we can't afford to lose that guy. So, again, he might be another one. But at this moment, as you say, all these are brand new guys besides B-Rob, really, and Terry. Everybody else are brand new dudes that you're thinking about. So just get Cosby locked up as well, man, because it's pissing me off that he's not locked up yet.
Absolutely. Last bit of the pod then is, do you want to go through a Patriots preview, or are you absolutely not bothered at all about it? Because
you can do. It's just like, you know,
it's fourth stringers, isn't it? I mean, is it Tuesday the roster cut downs are? I think it's Tuesday at 4 p.m. The rosters have got to be done by. This should just be a who's playing completely for their job. Let's hope to see it all. I am probably not going to stay up to watch this game.
This is probably one of the few times that I won't probably watch it live.
I might do, because it's Bank Holiday Monday, so we're off. So.
I mean, if I'm awake and not too shattered, then fair enough, because it's a midnight start, isn't it, for us?
No, it's one. It's one.
Oh, it's a 1 o'clock start. All right, okay. Well, then, where's man? You know. Yeah. I mean, I might do, as I say, because we're off the next day, maybe. But again, if I might not. Like, literally, I'm 50-50 at this moment. If I'm going to watch,
I am too. I'm absolutely
big fans. You're right, Scott. You're all right, mate. When was the last time you watched your team play at 1 a.m? Hey, when was the last time that happened?
Or a Thursday night football at a 1:30 start that finishes at 4:30, and then you have to go to work for 6. Yeah, nice one. Yeah. When we get on a plane, pop over here, 5,500 miles, and we'll take you to a
feel
game.
it.
How about
You'll
that?
feel it, then you'll see how fake we are. Yeah. We'll be watching kickers, ours and theirs. Yeah, you're not wrong, Brian. I mean, that's probably the biggest matchup of the whole lot, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, it is very much so.
The real edge guys are going to be you're looking at Hampton, aren't you? You're looking at how good this guy is in this game, and you're looking at your kickers. I think everybody.
Mike says committed fans move to Eastern Time. Yeah, exactly. We all wish we could do that, mate.
Hey, Mike, Canada doesn't count, man. I think you got to live in the States. I know you can say it's Eastern Timing, but no, you got to live in real committed fans move to the States, wouldn't he? Wouldn't move to Canada. I mean,
weird up there. They eat chips, cheese, and gravy, don't they? Call it poutine. Strange, but no. Well, you're right, Scott. We are fake fans, and you got us to bite on that big time, both of us. So that was pretty good. He's 20 minutes from Buffalo.
Not good enough, mate. 20 minutes from Buffalo doesn't matter.
I'm like 20 minutes from the next town. So, yeah, okay, I get that. That's not too bad. When you're 20 minutes away from another country, I mean, yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, whatever, Mike, whatever.
Yeah. So, who are you looking for? Anyone in particular to stand out for you that you want to see make this 53-man?
Well, I mentioned Hampton before. There, I think he's going to be the guy I'm going to be looking. If I do watch the game live, I'll be looking at what he's doing.
Corners. I want to see corners. I want to see Mike Davis. I want to see what he's doing. I want to see Noah Igbenogany. I want to see.
I mean, this guy he was a first rounder, Igbenogany, wasn't he?
I know. Yeah, he was.
And he's been absolutely pants for most teams.
Was it was Miami. It was Miami, wasn't it, that picked him up as a first rounder?
I think so. Or was it Dallas?
You see, you're saying poutine is great there, Scott, and poutine is great, but it's not. It's chips, cheese, and gravy. It's the same thing. just another one of these things that you've just got a different name for. It's like, okay. But yeah, I know what you mean. Chips, cheese, and gravy is for winners, by the way. But yeah, it is one of them. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the Pats preview. We'll see what happens with kickers. We'll see what happens with these bubble guys. This is the third preseason game. I really don't care about the result at all. It is all about Week 1, Tampa Bay. That's what we need to get in ahead of. I'm trying my best to get the other UK guys from the other three NFC East teams to get on a podcast to discuss their 53, to discuss how they think their preseason's gone, how they think that their squads are holding up. So hopefully we'll have that potentially next week, prior to obviously Week 1, and we will see what happens with that. But yeah, anything else for you, Scouts, before we disappear?
No, not really, mate. Just, as I say, just no injuries. That's what I want to see as well. I want to see no injuries. I want to see the real fringe guys get a decent amount of time, and hopefully that they can produce something that's going to keep them in the squad, because, at the moment, I think our depth is poor in most areas. In most areas of our team, our depth is not very good. So, and the Dolphins actually showed that up in a big way to us last week. In my eyes, it really did. Who's a true contending team and who's not. So.
And to end on a positive and in what has been a tumultuous day, we will say we are 3 weeks away, mate. 3 weeks away, and we'll be on a plane. Exactly 3 weeks today. I cannot wait.
Beautiful.
Right, everyone out there. Everyone in the chat, we appreciate you being on. Can't thank you enough. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the pod. And everyone who downloads it, thank you again for going there. It's available on all podcast apps, and we appreciate you coming down. But yeah, there you go. Kenny Dalglish was going to United but wasn't good enough. Well,
Man, yeah.
Okay. And on that bombshell,
he doesn't know over in the face.
I'm saying nothing, mate, because I'm on a League 2 club. So yeah, let's not go there.
Hey, who was the one who lockdown corners as well? Who was it?
A lockdown corner.
Was it Mike? Was it mentioning? Yeah.
Yeah, it might have been. It very, very well might have been lockdown corners. He said that. Our corners will lock down Jahan Dotson, which.
Mate, they can't even lock their own car doors, mate. That's how bad they are. Our corners.
Oh dear. Right, thanks everyone, and we'll see you next. So tomorrow, Bleeding Burgundy, absolutely. Why didn't I mention this? Thank you, Jesse. Before we go, yes, please join us live tomorrow, where the 1 Point Safety Show boys and a few others will be live 11 o'clock our time UK, 6 p.m. Eastern, Bleeding Burgundy podcast live on YouTube. We will be doing our fantasy draft where we have 90 seconds to pick the pick. We don't know the draft order yet, but it's Brits versus Yanks. There's 5 versus 5, 10 spots. So, you'll see some familiar faces to you all and some new ones. So,
a full
come across.
How many people is it? Like a 25 man?
It's 10 people and 15 rounds.
15 rounds, okay.
Yeah, 15 rounds. So it'll be interesting to see what
we're going to show these Yanks how it's done. You know what I mean?
I don't know, mate. I've auto drafted for 2 years on the spin, and it's worked out.
So
I'm not
including you. I'm thinking me and Tony. I'm thinking with the real deal.
We're not auto drafting this year. We're live drafting.
You're not allowed to. You both. You were told straight.
I was, yeah. Please come across to the Bleeding Burgundy podcast. You can find them on all podcast apps. And if you follow Jesse's, he is Jesse's24 on Twitter or X, or Bang Radio Owl, which is John Taman, or even myself, we'll put out the link to it where you can watch it through X or Twitter. But please come across to YouTube and watch it on there. It'd be much appreciated. Thank you, everyone, and we will finish now, and we will see you again next Thursday, where we will discuss roster cut-downs, most likely. We'll see you soon. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.